So there's been a time where you thought you were doing everything right with a girl. You were being kind, you were being respectful, understanding, but she still rejected you. Then you were left confused. Where did I go wrong? Why did I mess up? But the hardest part is no one actually tells you what you did wrong. And I know this because I was never taught how to actually behave with women. I was just told, oh yeah, bro, just put in more effort, just show her that you care, and that's what's gonna make her fall in love with you. So I do these things and I'd still get rejected. But now, just a few years later, I learned how to stop being the guy who was trying so hard just to please women and actually developed some self-respect. And my goal with this video is just to get you to the same spot that I'm at now, but way faster. So now let's go back to my junior year of high school, which is when I learned this lesson the hard way. So there was this one girl who I had a huge crush on, and the prom was coming up and I didn't have a date. And a few of my friends were telling me, oh yeah, dude, this girl seems like she's into you. She's talked about you a bit. You should go and ask her out. So I made this huge sign and I got, a couple of her friends on it, and I ended up asking her and she said yes. And I felt so relieved, like, yes, this girl's gonna go to prom with me. This is so hype. This is so awesome. Like, this is the first time I've ever had a date to a dance. But then as we got closer and closer to the actual day of the dance, things just felt a bit off. I would text her all the time and she'd take forever to respond. We'd go out to get lunch together and she wouldn't seem very interested, just, giving dry responses. And I'd be sitting here going, what am I doing wrong? Am I screwing anything up? What's going on? Then we got to the dance and now I'm saying, okay, I'm gonna lock in, we're gonna have a good time, we're gonna dance together, and everything is gonna get better from here. Wrong. The whole time she was just talking to her friends, not really paying attention to me. And then halfway through the dance, I walked over to her and I asked her, hey, let's go dance together. And she just kind of brushed me off. And so at this point, I'm just panicking in my head. I'm just going, what's going wrong? What am I doing? Then at the end of the date, I pulled her aside and I said, I gotta talk to you really quick. So I told her that, I felt so disrespected and I felt terrible and I felt like she didn't care about me and I really liked her and I want things to work out. And it just made things even worse. She pretty much just completely stopped talking to me and I was left with just a very bad prom night. And I felt like complete shit afterwards. But looking back, I actually think it's quite funny because this whole situation would have just been avoidable if I knew the signs to look out for, if I actually knew how to navigate the situation properly. And the first of those lessons, okay, never feel the need to over-explain yourself. This part at the end of the date where I pulled her aside and started saying to her, oh, you're such a great girl, and, I think I'm such a great guy, and I think you'd really like me, why weren't you showing interest in me? That was where I really screwed up. Now, why is that, you may ask? Well, you should never feel the need to have to logically explain yourself to a girl. Something that I've learned about attraction is that it's not something that's logical. It's not something that you think about. It's not something that you explain to a girl. The truth is, the only thing that really matters are her feelings, how she feels about you. And if she does not feel desire for you already, you sitting here and explaining it to her is not going to make it any better. If anything, it's just going to make it a lot worse. What you should do instead is that if you feel like a girl is slipping away and it's not working out, just move on, just walk away. And then from there, you'll give her the choice to either start pursuing you and show interest in you, or you'll just go find somebody else. Because the truth is, you shouldn't feel like you have to try super hard to win over a girl, because at that point, you're just being needy, you're being insecure, and you're not gonna be the guy who actually attracts her. Which leads me into number 2, you have to set the bar high for the women that you date. You wanna know where I screwed up in this situation in the first place, where it would have been all completely avoidable? I asked out a girl who really didn't like me that much. I mean, yeah, maybe she had a little bit of interest. I asked her out and she said yes. We'd go out to lunch every now and then, but it was always me who was texting her first. It was always me who was chasing after her, and she was never pursuing me. Now, obviously, as a man, you need to be the one to initiate because that's the masculine thing to do. But the truth is, when a girl has genuinely high interest for you, she's gonna put effort into you as well. She's gonna text you first. She's gonna ask you to hang out. When you're hanging out with her, she's not gonna be giving dry ass responses. It's like, no, she's gonna be interested. She's gonna ask you questions. She's gonna give good responses. So if you ever feel like that a girl is not putting in the same effort and energy that you are putting in, just stop talking to her and move on. It's really that simple, bro. You need to have standards for yourself, because if you don't set standards for yourself, if you don't set the bar high for yourself and respect yourself, women are not going to respect you. You get in the world what you give. So if you want to be the guy who attracts a woman who actually has high desire for him, you need to set that standard. You need to become that guy. And if a girl is not putting that effort into you, you need to just walk away and go find someone who will actually treat you the way that you want to be treated. So don't waste time on girls who have low interest. Just go for girls who have high interest. Now, step number 3, you need to have an abundance mindset. One of the reasons why I completely screwed up things on this date was the whole time I was just saying to myself, oh, I really hope I don't mess things up. Oh, I really hope I don't screw up. Is that how a guy who's confident in himself speaks? No. Are those the thoughts that go through his head? No. Think about James Bond, for example. Think about Tony Stark, or maybe you have a friend who's very confident with women. Does he say to himself, oh, I just don't want to screw up? No. He says to himself, I'm a high value guy. I bring a lot to the table. So of course this girl should be into me. And if she's not, no big deal. Who cares? It's kind of like how when you're playing sports, the player who worries all the time, who says, oh, I hope I don't strike out. Oh, I hope I don't throw an interception. Oh, I hope I don't miss this shot. That player is never going to be successful. But the player who just puts in effort, does his best, and doesn't stress over the result, that's the guy who's going to be successful. You need to stop worrying so much about the result, about if you make her your girlfriend, if the date goes well, and just live in the moment. Just be present. Just focus on having a good time. Don't overthink so much. And I know it's hard because I've always been a guy who overthinks. I've always been a guy who worries. I've always been a guy, like that's how I naturally am as a person. So I've had to train it. I've had to work on it. But if you just put in a conscious effort to kind of rewire your mind, and whenever those thoughts creep into your head that, oh yeah, she wouldn't be into me. Oh, I really hope I don't screw up. And you change those and you think more intentionally, you will have success. But that's where it all starts. It all starts in the mind. If you don't see yourself as the guy who can get the girl, if you always put women on a pedestal and you degrade yourself, you're never going to be successful. So you got to have that abundance mindset. You got to see yourself as a catch. And you got to not care if you get rejected, because it's really not that big of a deal. But if you don't make that change, you won't get to where you want to be. But you have the power to do it. You can do it. You just have to put in the effort. Now, if you found this video helped you and you want to see more content like this, you want to improve your dating life, your self-improvement, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because I'm posting a lot of videos like this. And really, it's just my purpose to help out young men. So if you want to be on that journey, just leave a like and subscribe. And once you feel like my free content has helped you out and genuinely made a change in your life, be sure to check out the link in the description where you can find my paid community. In there, you'll get advice from me. We can connect, talk about these topics, and it's really just a way to support me and my brand. So take care, and I'll see you for the next video, bro.